I'm going to read you a few things here. National Guard troops on standby in Washington State, Oregon, and Nevada as a precaution for potential election unrest. So, Inslee did not disclose how many troops would be activated on Tuesday, but said they would be available to support law enforcement from Monday to Thursday, according to the news release. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has warned that threats to election infrastructure remain high. Okay, and based upon general and specific information and concerns regarding the potential for violence or other unlawful activity related to the 2024 general election, want to ensure we are fully prepared to respond to any potential additional civil unrest. Okay, and then I'm attaching a bunch of videos so you guys can watch this stuff in depth. I'm just going over some information and then take what you want from it, but pray over it as always. We're 2 days to the elections, and I'm sure you all are getting the same feeling I am. Something major's coming. So North Korea boasts of its new long-range missile targeting the U.S. North Korea on Friday bragged of its recently tested new intercontinental ballistic missile, calling it the world's strongest. Now, I have a video I'm attaching about this, and I want you guys to take a good listen to this. Because they've been siding with Russia. And we know that Russia, NATO, China forces go against the United States bombing us. We also know what this election is going to bring America down, period. And like I said 1,000 times, I'm going to say it again as much as I don't want to, and I hope and pray I'm wrong, but I believe that Kamala wins. I absolutely do, because I believe she's the harlot of America. And I also believe bad things are going to happen regardless, because the votes now are so close. Now, like I said, I hope and pray I'm wrong, because no matter what, I believe that Trump's coming back, because he has to initiate his Project 2025. And I know people are going to argue about that. Well, he had nothing to do with that. Absolutely, he had everything to do with it, and I showed a video about that. So, moving on. Read this. Hundreds of sheep have been walking in a circle for 14 days straight, and no one knows why. Now, didn't we just hear about this a few years ago? And people called it was hypnosis, or they're acting crazy and things like that. Well, there's a part of this that I want to read to you. I'm going to skip through, though. The sheep are reportedly healthy, but the reason for their bizarre behavior is yet to be known. In a rather spooky occurrence, hundreds of sheep have been unsettling people by moving in a circle for the past 14 days in Inner Mongolia region of northern China. Surveillance footage of the strange activity depicts a sizable flock moving steadily in almost imperfect circle. While some sheep can be obscured watching from the outside rotation, other occasionally stop still in the middle. Chinese state-run media source People's Daily tweeted a video of its peculiar incident on Wednesday. So why is this a big deal? Well, because we know China has the world's manipulation with Project Blue Beam. They are the ones that also deal with the dragon, the red dragon, as it represents their country, so on and so forth, which I believe this could be a manipulation, but I also believe it is God stating to gather his sheep, because when sheep are all in one accord, like a circle, all in one, okay, that's when he's coming back. Okay, it's when all of us are on the same page, all of us get the same type of information. I believe it's a cue for the end times. Next, incident. Okay, that was on Wednesday, November 16th, reporting that the sheep are fine in condition. Reason for their bizarre captured, walk in a circle for 10 days in China's Inner Mongolia, so on and so forth. And then it says the sheep have been moving this way for over 2 weeks now. Okay, so anyways, the reason why I'm reading all this, like I said, I'm moving up here. It says, I remember saying there's going to be an apocalypse when sheep from Mongolia start walking in a circle for 10 plus days. This is the end, my only friend, the end. So, a few years out, here we are with the wars, with all these other these worldwide events that's happening. Okay, and I believe, like I said, it is the gathering of the people, God's people, to be in one accord. We all now, all of us Christians, born-again believers, the ones that are wide awake, the ones who, can see what's going on, all have an biblical understanding of what's happening. Now, there is a lot of people deceived into believing that a man, Trump, is going to save America. The problem with that is God has said in the beginning, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and all the others for the end time prophetic events, do not be deceived. Okay? Do not be deceived by any means, by any person, any place or thing. And a lot of people are placing their trust in man. And when you do that, things fail. Okay, so now moving on is the 2024 election. Violence is already happening. How much worse could it get if Trump loses? Now, I'm not here to diss on Trump. That's not what I'm doing. If you guys voted for him, great, because I can tell you the majority of the Christians did. I, however, refuse to vote. And that doesn't mean that it's going to change the outcome. Every 70 million people, whatever, voted for freaking Trump last election. It got stolen from him. Same thing's going to happen again. Because we are so far into Bible prophecy, and America has to fall. Has to. It is biblical. We are in the timing of that fig tree generation for all of these prophetic events to be unleashed. Now, we've already been seeing civil unrest and other things that's been going on. So I'm going to just quickly go through this stuff because I don't want to take up much of your time. Political violence has already reached alarming levels in the U.S. over the last few years. January 6th, we already seen that, okay? Now the 2024 election could cause another flare-up, especially if Trump loses. Disclosures of violence among right-wing extremists has already spiked online. Now, the thing is, people also don't want to hear anything that's going on, but I'm sorry, you guys need to take into facts of what's going on and what's going to happen. People are so blinded by his charisma, by his flattery, that they are just worshiping him. They put their trust in man versus God. They don't open their Bible and read Daniel chapter 11, Revelation 17, Revelation 12, Revelation 13, okay, Daniel 8, Daniel 9. All of this is biblical, along with the Psalm 83 war, okay, Isaiah that's Ezekiel 38 and 39 war, Isaiah 49. We've got all these biblical prophecies just popping off the pages. The problem is when you go to a church and you listen to a pastor who does not preach and teach on the depth of the end times, you end up becoming so deceived because you believe that what he is saying right. You guys become surface readers. And the reason I'm saying that is because I was that before 2014, before God opened my eyes. I used to just read the Bible as it was. Oh, well, it says we're going through the tribulation. There you go. But God says, no, I want you to study to show thyself approved. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And I'm only human. So some of my stuff, yes, is speculation. But what I present, for these events and things going on is biblical facts. Now, could I be wrong on some aspect? Little bit, yes, because I'm human. We all make mistakes. But I never place my trust in man. I never place my trust in a pastor. I never place my trust in a church. I place my trust in Jesus Christ. Because the Bible is going to give you your answers if you're willing to see it. And a lot of people are not willing to see what this election is going to behold because it's fearful and they think it's fear-mongering and they don't want to hear anything negative. They want to believe that this world is just going to continue. And the thing is, everything must come to an end. And remember, your life is but vapor. God created us. You have a loved one. They're there 1 minute, snap, gone the next. Same way, when Jesus comes back, we're here 1 minute, gone the next. Absolutely everything, people, places, and things, everything that you have in your entire life, your children, your clothing, everything is going to be washed away. All of it's going to get taken away. All of it. Because it's all got to be created new when you enter his kingdom. And when he comes back and creates his new kingdom, everything's going to be perfected the way that it was supposed to be since the beginning of time. So, getting off track here. So, Trump has, however, employed a violent rhetoric himself. On Thursday, Trump lambasted former Representative Liz Cheney, an outspoken Republican critic of the former president, who he described as radical war hawk. Let's put her in a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay, he said. Let's see how she feels about it, when the guns are trained on her face. The polls show a tight race between Trump and Kamala, suggesting that at this time, as in 2020, the results may be decided by narrow margins in a few battleground states. Trump has been priming Republican voters to reject the result if he comes up short, making unsubstantiated claims about voter fraud in Pennsylvania and non-citizens voting on a widespread basis. And we have seen, and obviously you guys have already seen, voter fraud. You can look everywhere. People are trying to vote for Mr. Trump, and it's automatically voting for Kamala. And even these illegal immigrants get a right to vote. Okay? We know where all this is headed. We've seen it once, it's going to do it again. And as terrible as it is and as unfair as it is, it's also biblical. So you got to look at the bright side about this. Okay, this means that we are one step closer to our Savior, one step closer to going home, one step closer for Bible prophecy to fall into place. You shouldn't be afraid of these things, because God tells us, do not be afraid for anything, because He is not an author of fear. Okay, and all these events that's going on may sound fearful, but instead look at it as the positive. I mean, I'm excited about these things. 2 days, I'm on edge, I'm anxious, I don't know 100% what to expect. I don't know if we're leaving, I don't know for how much we're going to see. Like I said, I don't know. I just know that bad things are coming and I can feel it. Okay, so Trump supporter Elon Musk has also set up a platform on our social media site X, formerly known as Twitter, for users to share potential incidents of voter fraud or irregularities. Okay, and these tactics seem to be working. If Trump loses, about a quarter of Republicans said they think that they should do whatever it takes to ensure he becomes president anyway, which we already know what's going to happen. Civil unrest, they're going to go after people, they're going to just go off their rocker. Now, a lot of people also believe that at the same timing of this, the ICBM missiles could come down on America. I'm saying that I don't believe it's time yet, because it's just not time. There has to be a little more deception going on in America in order for America's fall. There's going to have to be like FEMA set up and things like that. And I truly do believe that, not only because of the dreams, but because of the way that prophecy is unfolding. And it says that the harlot has martyrs. The harlot has the other countries falling in her hand, and she follows after the beast, rides in on the beast. Think about that. I mean, it's not right now. America's fall is here. This is the beginning of the end. But I don't think it's going to be what people think. I think it's going to happen quickly, but I don't think it's going to be at this election. I think it's going to be sometimes possibly next year, maybe the year after. But we're witnessing Bible prophecy jumping off these pages, and we know that we are spared from the wrath that is to come upon the whole entire world, Revelation 3:10. So much. A lot of a great deal of potential violence after the November election. More recent polls have found similar results, including in October, that found 27% of Republican, 42% of voters overall extremely or very worried about post-election violence. And all of this has put law enforcement and national security officials on high alert about political violence in the days before and after the election. They have also said to be stocked up for at least 3 months, and not just over the election, but because of what is going to happen from these incidents. Okay, and like I said, I'm jumping. It says, according to the DHS bulletins, there is a heightened risk that domestic violent extremists could attempt to initiate civil war. That kind of chatter has become increasingly common in online spaces frequented by right-wing extremist groups. Now, let me tell you something. This is just an opinion. This is not fact. This is opinion. So do not mark my words for this. I feel that if anything's going to happen, it's not going to be on a day that we expect. I think everyone is expecting the election date for these events to happen. It's going to happen either before or shortly after. Okay, because the inauguration doesn't even happen until January. Now, there could be a way that, they don't have enough voters on, 270 to whatever. Yeah, if they don't have enough on that end, that they could postpone the elections, and so on and so forth. That's a possibility. And a lot of us have even felt that that's what's going to happen. I don't know. I'm not God. I just know that what I'm feeling is bad things coming. So now all I got to say is I'm attaching these other videos, and you guys need to listen to this information that is given. This stuff is so important. Pray over this as always. And remember 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4, that is the gospel on how to be saved. Believe that Jesus is who he says he is. Believe that he died and rose again on the third day, and that he's coming back. Jesus is coming back for you. He's coming back for me. And just be a part of our family. John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. I'll see you guys there in the air. God bless.